Have you ever done a double take when you've seen someone who looks exactly like a famous person? Well, you don't have to look far to see some of the biggest celeb doppelgangers out there. Simply look at these celebrities' kids. To see more videos like this on the taco, hit the subscribe button. Now, let's get started with 10 celebrity kids who grew up to look like their famous parents. Ava Phillippe. It was a sure thing that Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe were going to make beautiful children together. But nobody was expecting their daughter, Ava Phillippe, to bear such a resemblance to her stunning parents. Everybody was stunned in 2016 when a 16-year-old Ava basically looked like her mom's twin. Reese started happily sharing selfies of the pair on Instagram, and you would think they were sisters rather than mother and daughter. Their matching blue eyes, facial features, and long blonde locks had us doing a double take. Every red carpet event they attended together prompted more and more lookalike comparisons. Then, in March 2018, the balance started to shift a little towards Ava's dad, Ryan. The 18-year-old had begun to resemble her father a bit more. This was noticeable when pictures were released of Ava's latest modeling campaign. Reese's lifestyle brand, Draper James, launched a new clothing collection called Easy Pieces, and Ava starred in the campaign for the line, looking more than a little like her dad. Commenters on social media pointed out the similarities. They also said that Ava was shaping up to be the perfect combination of both her parents. Perhaps Ava is now a bit over all those comparisons, as she debuted a new hairstyle right after the campaign dropped. She explained on social media that she got her hair spontaneously chopped into a bob while in London for her mom's premiere. That's certainly one way to make a noticeable difference. Zoe Kravitz. There's another mother-daughter combo that commentators regularly compare to sisters, and that's Zoe Kravitz and her mom, Lisa Bonet. Although there's 21 years between them, they're often called twins. That's not just down to the strikingly similar looks, but also thanks to Lisa's amazing ability to stay looking so young, despite being in her 50s. The similarity between the two became most noticeable when Zoe started wearing her hair in cornrow braids. People also point out how you can see Zoe's dad, Lenny Kravitz, in her too, but with their almost identical facial features, there's no denying Zoe and Lisa are practically twins. They starred together in Calvin Klein's Watches and Jewelry Spring 2016 campaign. When it was announced that Big Little Lies had got a second season, fans were excited to hear that Zoe's hippie character, Bonnie Carlson, would be back, and they were even more thrilled to hear that Bonnie's parents were being cast for season 2. Of course, they took to social media to give their opinion on who should play the roles. And who did they choose? Why, Zoe's parents in real life, of course, Lisa and Lenny. Just like Ava Phillippe, Zoe's made a bit of a dent in those comparisons with her mom by chopping her hair off. Kaia Gerber. It must be tough growing up with an incredibly beautiful model for a mother. But fortunately for Kaia Gerber, she's inherited her mom's good looks. So much so that Kaia is pretty much a double for Cindy Crawford. The similarities between them have long been commented on, but as she's gotten older, Kaia has only become more and more like Cindy. And Kaia has been following in her mom's footsteps not only in the looks department, but also in her choice of work. She's forging her own career in the fashion industry. At just 16, Kaia made her catwalk debut walking for Calvin Klein in 2017, and she's kept on providing plenty of moments where it's easy to spot the similarities between the pair, particularly when you compare pictures of Kaia now to photos of her mom back in her modeling heyday. Cindy even points out how they're doppelgangers on her Instagram account by sharing shots of her yearbook picture alongside her daughter's school pics. Kaia also acknowledges their twinning moments on social media. She shared a photo of the two of them with the question, "Why do we look the same age?" There are so many occasions that the mom and daughter have twinned, it's undeniable that they're one of the most similar-looking pairs out there. Scott Eastwood. Even though there's more than 55 years difference between them, there's no denying the similarities between Clint Eastwood and his son Scott Eastwood. Of course, a man in his early 30s and a man in his late 80s aren't going to be having a huge amount of twinning moments when you compare them at this exact moment in time. But when you look back at photos of Clint in his heyday, it's uncanny just how similar he is to Scott now. Not only has Scott followed his famous father's footsteps in the looks department, he's also followed him in his choice of career. And the fact that they're both actors has provided plenty of moments for side-by-side twinning shots. Clint is so well known for his roles in westerns that you can't help but picture him in a cowboy hat with a mean look on his face. And when you see photos of Scott in the same outfits with the same facial expressions, you realize just how similar they are. Even Scott himself has captioned photos of the pair of them together now with the words, "like father, like son." Apple Martin. Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin have been careful to limit the amount of photos they've shared of their kids. But even in just the few glimpses we get of their daughter, there's really no denying just how alike Apple Martin and her mom are. Now that she's a teenager, Apple is only becoming more and more like Gwyneth, and Gwyneth's Instagram account is a great source for proof of their similarities. From their long blonde hair to their identical blue eyes and matching facial features, this mother and daughter pair are certainly twinning. A great example of this was Apple's 13th birthday. Gwyneth shared a shot of her daughter where we got to see her full face, and boy is she the spitting image of her mom. And then Gwyneth uploaded a photo of the whole fam, including Chris and Moses too, at the LA's Museum of Ice Cream. We can only wonder whether Apple will follow Ava Phillippe and Zoe Kravitz's lead in the future and make some changes to her hair to put a bit of distance between herself and her mom's looks. Suri Cruise. Suri Cruise might not be fully grown up yet, but as the years go by, she's looking more and more like her famous folks. Like Apple Martin, Suri has been shielded from the spotlight as much as possible, but in the few glimpses that we get of her, it's undeniable that she takes after her mom, Katie Holmes. Their brunette hair and similar facial features have had commentators constantly shouting lookalikes at the pair every time we catch a look of the mother-daughter duo together. Katie treats her fans to photos of herself and her daughter on her Instagram account now and then, and the similarities are plain to see right now. But when Katie shares throwback pics of herself as a child, it's even more obvious how much Suri takes after her mom. In fact, when Katie posted a shot of herself and her brother from back in the day, fans initially thought it was a photo of Suri. Interestingly though, now that Suri's getting older, the comparisons between her and her dad have started. Tom Cruise's good looks from the 1980s are starting to show up in Suri's features too. Whether you think Suri's beginning to look a bit more like her dad now or not, you can't deny that she's got some incredibly good genes from both her parents. Colin Hanks. You know when actors are asked whom they'd like to play them in a biopic? Well, Tom Hanks could keep it in the family thanks to his lookalike son, Colin Hanks. Like his dad, Colin is in the biz. He's an actor and a film director. In fact, the pair have even had a little friendly professional rivalry too, when their movies came out at the same time. Colin's first feature-length film, All Things Must Pass: The Rise and Fall of Tower Records, was released on the same day as his dad's historical thriller, Bridge of Spies, in 2015. Tom joked about the coincidence at the time, saying he was in competition with his son, and joking that they really might try to do a tweet-off. Hanks Sr. added that he hoped that they would watch each other's films on the same night. Now in his 40s, Colin has spoken about the advice his dad gave him way back in his early career. Colin revealed that Tom advised him to show up on time, have your lines memorized, and prepare to work. Seems like those wise words have worked, as Colin is still enjoying a successful career. Most recently, he starred in the CBS sitcom Life in Pieces and horror film It, Chapter 2. If only these two would star as father and son in a movie together. Rumer Willis. Rumer Willis is responsible for one of the most twinning moments ever on social media. Back in May 2015, the daughter of Bruce Willis and Demi Moore shared a shot on Instagram that made everyone do a double take. It was a photo of herself and her famous mom with matching hair, matching glasses, and matching clothes. Rumer captioned it, "That moment when you realize you actually are becoming your mother." She used the hashtags #twinning and #I'mNotMad to show that there are certainly far worse things than looking like your mother when your mother is as hot as Demi Moore. Fast forward to the end of 2017, and Rumer and Demi were sharing more than just their cool fashion sense. They were also sharing a camera lens by both starring in the same TV show together. Rumer first got the gig on Empire, but then her mom also got a part on the show. And even more than that, Demi moved into her daughter's apartment. Now that they're roommates, they really can share clothes easily. Rumer's no stranger to acting with her mother, as she worked alongside Demi aged 5 in Now and Then. Sophie von Haselberg. You don't need to see them side by side to realize Sophie von Haselberg is Bette Midler's daughter. But when you do see them next to each other, posing on the red carpet at the Tony Awards in 2017, you'll think you're seeing double. Because this mother and daughter duo couldn't look any more similar if they tried. At the ceremony, Sophie was 30 and Bette was 71. But they don't look more than 4 decades apart. It's not just looks that they've got in common either. Like so many of the children on this list, Sophie followed in her doppelganger parents' footsteps career-wise too. She's also an actress, but not after following a different path for a while. Sophie studied sociology and East Asian studies at Yale University. She then moved to China to work at an ad agency. However, the pull of her mom's professional path in life was too strong, and Sophie returned to Yale to study drama. Even though she resisted acting specifically because of her mom's illustrious career, she revealed that she always knew she was going to act. Her best-known part is in Woody Allen's 2015 movie Irrational Man. Woody himself said Sophie's the spitting image of her mother. Blanket Jackson. Some celebrity kids are so sheltered from the public eye by their parents that we hardly get a look at them. When Michael Jackson's kids were growing up, he used to cover their faces with masks and scarves when they were out in public. So we didn't have a particularly good idea about whether they looked like their famous dad or not. But now they're all grown up, we can see the similarities between them, particularly Blanket. Michael's youngest son was born in 2002 and made headlines as a baby when his father dangled him over a balcony. After Michael's death, Blanket refused to cut his hair. It was his way of honoring his father's memory. Now that Blanket is a teenager, we can see just how much he resembles his late father. But there is a big difference now. He's not called Blanket anymore. He goes by the name of BG. As a school kid in California, he's into karate and photography. He's still a very private person, but we did get a glimpse of him during the holidays in 2017 when his sister Paris shared a family shot. Which child and parent do you think look most alike? Let us know in the comments, and give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching.